Welcome to Main Street Living. I'm Cheryl Nelson. It's Ladies' Day today.
That's right. And I'm Danielle Avari. No Quincy Carr here today. He decided it was time to go, spring break it out.
Good for him, Danielle. But you and I are going to hold down the fort, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have so many feel-good stories today, Cheryl. I'm so excited.
I always love that. There are some interviews today in the show where I'm just going, oh my gosh. When I say I want to hug you, you know that is good material. Yes.
Yes. But still keeping that 6 feet, Cheryl.
Oh, right. 6 feet, mask on. I know, still trying to do all that. But Danielle, we have a busy show today. And we're going to talk with a young animal advocate making a real difference in the world.
Yes, and don't forget it is Autism Awareness Month, so we're going to kick that off as well. And speaking of not forgetting, schedule your dentist appointment because you've probably forgotten that. We're going to talk to a dentist about all the safety precautions he's taken for himself, his staff, and his patients.
Some really cool stuff there. But first, people are stepping up for Earth Month, including a popular supermodel. So stay with us. That's next. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Well, April is Earth Month when we focus on actions we can take to heal and sustain our planet.
Absolutely, Cheryl. And clean water is necessary for our planet. I think we can all agree on that. And for all of us living on it. As a child, our next guest spent hours every day walking to fetch water for her family. Now she's working to provide access to clean water to people in her home country of Burkina Faso. Welcome humanitarian entrepreneur and international model, Georgie Badiel and Liberty. Georgie, thank you so much for joining us on Main Street Living.
No, thank you so much for having me and Doug.
So you're a famous supermodel and former Miss Africa. What inspired you to create the Georgie Badiel Foundation?
Thank you. So I created the Georgie Badiel Foundation because there were crucial need of clean drinking water to the people of Burkina Faso. As a child, I used to walk 3 hours to fetch water. And as I grow and being a child walking to fetch water, fetching water wasn't something that I liked to do. To me, it was like my grandmother will come to knock at the door at 6 a.m. She's like, wake up, Georgie, let's go get the water. And I would be complaining like, why is the water so far? Why is the water not clean? Why do we have to walk for so long to just fetch water? Why we don't have access to water just in our home? And what I didn't like is only the girls were allowed to go get the water. And my brothers and my cousin boys, they were just sleeping. And I was like, no, this isn't right. Men are usually stronger than women. They should be the one walking to get the water, not
go get the water.
Yeah.
And as I grow, I was fortunate to become Miss Burkina Faso in 2003 and Miss Africa in 2004. After that, I had the opportunity, thank you, I have the opportunity to go to Paris to start an international modeling career. Of course, being in Paris was like the jet set life. I have access to everything, traveling private plane, first class, staying in the best hotel, living the best life. So after living like the beautiful life, I went back home to visit my sister because I kind of like, when I was living my great life, I felt that something was missing inside of me, but I didn't know what it was, until I went to visit my sister who was almost 9 months pregnant. And my sister had to wake up between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. to get water.
Wow.
That is when I knew that something was wrong. That's when I knew that I have to stand up to make a difference. I have to stand up to bring clean drinking water, which is so basic to the people of our country. So the Georgie Badiel Foundation was founded in 2015, and we brought water to over 300,000 people. Wow. And I am so excited with a new partnership with Newday Impact, because we're going to bring water to so many people.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you brought up Newday Impact Investing. How does partnering with a sustainable investing app help your cause?
So first of all, I would say that raising awareness on what we do is very important. As you could see, we are very fortunate to be in America, to live in a country where we have, I would say, access to water and access to a lot of basic, I would say, needs. But imagine a child in Africa have to be deprived from going to school, have to sacrifice his education to go get a bucket of water for his family.
And it's so sad that that is still happening, that that's still a reality in so many places. And I'm glad that you've made this partnership. And we do want to bring in now the CEO of Newday Impact Investing, Doug Heske. Thank you so much for joining us here on Main Street Living. So talk to us a little bit about sustainable investing and why this is so popular amongst young people today.
Yeah, it's been amazing to witness the changes in the business over the last couple of decades. And we have this emerging population defined as millennials and Gen Z that care about these issues more than any other segment of the responsibly minded community right now. And the world's population is young. I mean, just here in the United States, 42% of the individuals here are 25 years or of age or younger. It's estimated that by next year, 1/3 of all U.S. adults, nearly 1/2 of the entire U.S. population work base will be consumers. 49% of these change makers want to work for a sustainable company. 60% want jobs with social impact. And 9 of 10 believe that the success of a business should be measured by more than just financial performance. As Georgie had pointed out, the water issues is something that here in the United States, we all take for granted, but water is life. It's so foundational to everything that we do. And we couldn't imagine a better partner, especially at this time, given the fact that we've just celebrated Water Conservation Month. We just did an important event with Georgie on World Water Day. We're marching down towards Earth Day, and then Ocean Health Day, World Oceans Day, is coming up on June 8th.
Wow. Well, you guys are like a power partnership. I couldn't agree more. I mean, Georgie, you're just like an amazing woman. But so tell us about the Newday app. How is it different than popular apps like Robinhood or TD Ameritrade? How does it work?
Yeah, so Newday is a registered investment advisor, and the core of our business is running institutional asset management portfolios that are focused on impact. They were designed around a subset of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So we are identifying organizations that are characterized as both direct impact companies, indirect companies that are making meaningful steps towards the advancement of transformational change relative to water and ocean issues.
Yeah, and this is really going to help your sustainable investing initiative. This is amazing that you're doing this. And how else can viewers get involved in sustainable investing today?
That is a great question. And it's really core to the work that we do, that we don't view ourselves just as an impact asset manager, but more of a behavioral platform where we're trying to encourage people, especially young people, to not just move capital where their values are, but also to volunteer, to get engaged in important efforts that support sustainability in general. And on the investment side, we're allowing individuals to come in for a minimum of $100 to make these investments into the platform to support these important initiatives.
Wow. All right. Wow. Well,
So
thank you
important.
so much for all of that. We really appreciate both of you joining us today. Congratulations to everything you're doing. And I know you're going to keep doing wonderful things.
Thank you so much for having us. This was great.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to join you.
Absolutely. All right. We've got a lot more ahead on Main Street Living. The world can always use more kindness. And next, we will talk about how we can all make a kindness commitment. Stay with us.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Now, Cheryl, in this past year, a lot of us have had our routines turned upside down, right? Nothing is normal. And that can be especially challenging if you're a person with special needs.
Oh my gosh, Danielle, I know it's so true. In fact, autism is very common in our society, with 1 in every 54 children being diagnosed on the autism spectrum. So it's something we should all become more knowledgeable about. And since April is World Autism Month, we have Tracy McDonald here from Autism Speaks to fill us in on how they are raising awareness and kindness in our communities. Welcome to Main Street Living.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So, Tracy, tell us exactly, what is World Autism Month and why is it so important?
Thank you. World Autism Month is in April, and we basically focus on sharing stories and opportunities to really increase understanding and acceptance of people with autism. We think now more than ever, it's really important for people to understand what autism is and not just be aware of it, but really accept individuals with autism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Autism Speaks, you guys are dedicated to providing solutions, support to the autism community. What are you doing for World Autism Month this year?
So this year, obviously, we're going to do a lot of virtual things. But I think one of the most important things is really sharing stories about what individuals with autism can be doing. And we have a couple different ways to do this. We have a kindness commitment and a kindness campaign. We also provide lots of information about the great work that we're doing at Autism Speaks, whether it's advocacy, resources, and just helping individuals and families cope with autism during COVID, because we know it can be a really difficult time. So I personally have a son with autism who usually likes to Zoom bomb all my calls. So at some point he may be making an appearance, although he is one of those kids that does not sleep. So he just went to bed. So.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yes. So you definitely have a lot going on right there, but we appreciate everything that you're doing. And one thing I love is your focus on kindness. Tell us about your kindness commitment and how we can all participate in that.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's really an important program for us. I know personally, kindness can go so far, not just in the pandemic, but I think on a day-to-day basis. I think one of the difficulties with autism is it can be so isolating. And so you can be in a store. We used to keep a list of everywhere we got kicked out of. People would just, like, they didn't understand like Griffin's movements or his speech, and they would just like stare at you, or you would be asked to leave. And that was really, it just kind of goes to the core of who you are. And I think the kindness campaign really is about helping people just understand and be aware that, people, all of us, whether you're on the spectrum or not, we all have, different qualities, different challenges, different ways at looking at the world. So the kindness commitment really is designed to help people figure out ways to be kind, whether it's posting stories about, individuals that are really just doing amazing, kind acts in the world, or becoming an advocacy ambassador, or, we have lots of school fundraising programs, or even making a donation, or just also providing resources to people, because a lot of times people are struggling and they don't know what to do. And sometimes just saying, hey, here's a great resource, you can call them. That's a very kind thing to do.
Well, in the spirit of kindness, I wanted to ask you, because you have a child with autism, what would be something that would be particularly helpful for maybe parents who have a child with autism?
I think it's funny. One of the great things that I think we're starting to see as a country is that more and more businesses, especially, are really trying to become more autism friendly. And so, like, Griffin's not great at waiting in line. And so we tend to go to the same place week after week, and they now know us. And so they are like, hey, Griffin. Griffin says hi. They know that we sit down for 15 minutes for dinner and then we're out of there. But just, it's kind of kind acts like that where people just, they know that he's going to react a little bit differently, and they're just thoughtful about it. And it's just sometimes a little tweak. The music may be too loud, or maybe it's too bright, or I think with individuals with autism, everyone is so unique. So you can't just say blanket statement, this is what you need to do. You know, ask somebody. You know what? If you see somebody struggling in a grocery store or anywhere else, you know, sometimes you can just say, "Hi, can I help?" Or like, "What can I do for you?"
It's
And
so
Well, and I know Cheryl
Right.
probably remembers as well. We've had someone on the show who said, if you've met one person with autism, you've met one person with autism, which I
That's
just thought
it.
was so
Right.
powerful.
Everybody is an
Right.
individual, and we could talk to you all day about this, but unfortunately, we are running out of time. So, where can people go to learn more about the autism? You've got the kindness commitment, and you also have the kindness campaign.
we have so much information on our website at autismspeaks.org/WAM, WAM. Please visit, you know, I hate when people like, visit our website. We have so much information in terms of
No,
resources.
visit her website.
COVID, you will get lost in there. We also have a great hotline if you need to speak with someone. You can always call that at 188-AUTISM-2. Please send us an email. Like, there is nothing I like more than talking about autism and honestly helping other parents and families, because we're all in this together.
You are a
Well, thank you
true
so
role
much.
model. Yeah,
Yeah,
thank
thank
you
you so much
much.
for joining us, for sharing your time with us and all of your resources. We so appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, stick with us right here on Main Street. We're going to keep the good feelings going, and you wouldn't believe how much a bow tie can make a difference. Welcome back into Main Street Living. Cheryl, you know that here on Main Street, we love to be inspired by good news stories, and we especially love seeing young people make their mark on the world.
Oh my gosh, it makes my day. And our next guest is a perfect example. At 14 years old, he's already an entrepreneur, speaker, philanthropist, animal advocate, and founder of Bow and Paws. Welcome to the show, Sir Darius Brown. So excited to chat with you today. And Darius, you have already started sewing bow ties for quite a few years for yourself, but then you started to make an impact for shelter pets back in 2017 after Hurricanes Harvey and Irma. That's near and dear to my heart. I'm a meteorologist. I know the devastation that these natural disasters can cause. So how did you come up with this idea?
So I came with this idea of wanting to make bow ties in the first place was because it was my sister who helped me at first, because I always called my sister my second mom. Anything she wanted to do, I wanted to do. So anytime I would want to come home, she would always be on the sewing machine, and I would always want to like help her make the hair bows and the wigs that she was making at that time. So anytime she'd be on the sewing machine, I wanted to help. But, you know, unfortunately, when I was younger, I was diagnosed with a speech delay, comprehension delay, and a fine motor skills delay. So it was she was sort of kind of scared if I was to use the sewing machine in some sort of way. But my mom had an amazing idea that if I was to cut the fabric, it could also develop my fine motor skills. So once I started to play around the fabric, it developed my fine motor skills, and I didn't have any challenge no more. And I got comfortable making bow ties over time, and decided to make my own way of making bow ties.
Wow.
And here you are on Main Street, and the speech is on point. So look how far you've come. You also started Bow and Paws. What is your mission with Bows and Paws?
So my mission with Bows and Paws, I currently have a mission called the Possum Mission, which is where I go around the 50 states across the United States of America, and I try to donate as many bow ties as I possibly can to those 50 states. So last year I was able to do seven or 10 states. I went to Virginia, New York, Florida, and many other states like that, just to, you know, make sure that dogs are having my bow tie so that they'll be able to find a loving home and be able to have the care that they need.
I love that you're doing that too, because a lot of the times when you go to the shelters, you know, some of the animals, they look so sad in the cages, and it's nice to kind of spice things up a little bit with a cute little bow tie, make them look even more loving and adoptable. I mean, they already are, but the bow ties add that little extra sparkle to every pet. How did you develop such a passion for animals?
So I feel like I always had a special love for animals. When I unfortunately where I used to live, I was never able to have like a dog or a cat. So I will always be hurt anytime I see somebody else with a dog, cat, because I always wanted my own. And then I remember looking at the ASPCA commercials, and I always saw that I was playing "Heart as the Angel" song, and there was the
Yeah.
cages.
Oh, we know.
Yes. Yes. Oh, it's sad.
I was just in tears. Like I really felt like it developed my love for animals. So I feel like I always had a strong love for animals.
Oh my goodness, you are amazing. Oh, I just want to try to hug you.
So Darius, wait, do you make all of these yourself? How many have you made? Do you donate them or do people buy them?
Yeah, so when I first started, I made them myself. But then now I get a major and a lot of more orders. So I have me, my mom, and my team who helps me with making bow ties now.
And how do you come up with the designs? I mean, are there different patterns and colors you choose from?
Yes. So normally for dogs who like in animal shelters, what I normally do is I want to make sure that the bow ties have like a bling or really stand out so that the animals in the animal shelters, they'll look more noticeable. So that when people like look for a prospected dog or cat to adopt, then they'll see, oh yeah, he's wearing a bow tie. He looks so different or special. He looks so cute. So it just gives that butterfly effect or that push that they need to look special.
Aww.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm like, oh, maybe I want this pet, but wow, that one looks pretty jazzy. So do you donate the ones you give to the shelter, or can people buy them as well?
Yes, people could also buy them as well, and I normally donate them. And if people are interested into buying one of my bow ties, you go to sirdariusbrown.com.
Awesome. Any final message you would like to share with our viewers before we go to maybe encourage people to do things like what you're doing and to step up and to help other people and animals?
Yes, so some inspiring words that I could say is that firstly, if you are living in a place that allows animals, make sure you adopt, don't shop, because it's always important to make sure that you find an animal that really needs the love and care for. And also, like if you want to go into like having a business, if you want to have a business, make sure you find a passion for it and make sure you don't give up no matter what you do in life, because I know it sounds so fake, but it's so true, because no matter what you do, it will come your way.
Oh my gosh. Wow. We need to have you as a spokesperson with us and just go everywhere. You inspire people all across the US and probably the planet as well. You are incredible.
Thank you.
Sir Darius Brown, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out his website, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
All right. So inspiring. Stick with us, though. Coming up, is it safe to go back to the dentist? We'll talk to one.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. It's Ladies' Day today. Danielle and I are holding down the fort. And Danielle, with so many things canceled this past year, weddings, graduations, vacations, and probably your dentist appointment too.
You know, it's funny you bring that up, Cheryl, because we have a dentist joining us today, Dr. Richard Masick. He practices near San Diego, California. He's here with some ways that you and your dentist can take care of your teeth and still keep you safe. So welcome to the show, Dr. Masick.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Dr. Masick, since the virus that causes COVID-19 can be spread through saliva, some people might think that going to the dentist sounds risky. Tell us, is it safe to go to the dentist?
Well, you know, there's a lot of fear out there in just about everything these days. But dentists have been pros at doing infection control for quite some time, back to the early 1990s. And it's really a very safe environment to be in most dental offices anyway. We have a lot of protocols in place that have been routinely there since before COVID. And we all go through extensive training for OSHA and infection control as a condition of our licensure. So yes, it's typically fairly safe.
And I know you have those protocols in place, but what extra precautions have you been taking now due to COVID-19?
Well, the COVID-19 required that we, number one, do a questionnaire. So we go through a series of questions that we ask patients to make sure that they're healthy before they come into the office, so they're not going to be spreading anything. We also ask our patients to wear masks before coming in. We ask them to wait in their car before they come into the office, because we don't allow more than one patient at a time to come through the reception room. And we don't allow gathering in the reception room. We also do a no-touch temperature assessment, and we see fewer patients during the day than we typically did before.
So Dr. Masick, you also came up with and patented a system to reduce the risk to patients and staff even more. What is that system?
Yes, during the COVID crisis, we were closed down for 3 months, and I didn't quite know what to do with myself. So I started looking around at different options to get us back in and make things safe. And I found some, but they weren't really solving the problems that I wanted to solve. So I created something that I call the evade system. And the intent of it is to collect aerosols and process them and get them out of the office so that they don't spread throughout the office. But in addition to that, one of the other things I wanted to do is create a clean room environment, such as are done in laboratories. So I had my air conditioning people come in and put in a new blower system that injects fresh air from the outside into the hallways. And then we pull it through the treatment rooms and out of the treatment rooms with powered exhaust fans. And we actually turn the air over in the office 8 times per hour.
Oh my
So
God.
it makes a much cleaner environment for everybody.
It's like you have an airplane inside your dental office there with the clean air circulating over and over again. Why did you think all of this was necessary?
Well, COVID can be spread through various means, and one of those certainly is aerosols. That's why the mandates for the masks, depending upon how you feel about those things. But the aerosols still are transmitted and transmit pathogens. And one of the things that I really wanted to solve was not allow those pathogens to be recirculated in the office. Certain systems that I found that were already available would process the air. They would take the air in, they would process it with UV light and HEPA filtration and maybe carbon filters, but it would take that air and push it back into the room through the exhaust. And the exhaust was on the floor, which was blowing onto the floor and potentially churning up anything that settled to the floor. So I didn't really like that solution. And I've had central vacuum systems in my office for quite a while for carpet cleaning in my training center. And what I thought was, why don't I create a box that will filter, and then we pull all of that air and aerosols and eject it out of the building so that nothing is recirculated into the office.
Amazing.
And that's what created the evade system.
Well, it's obvious that you prioritize health. And how important is it to continue to attend to your oral health even while the pandemic is still going on?
Well, it's extremely important. People don't like going to the dentist anyway, in general. And if there's an excuse that you can come up with, simply you're going to take it. But the problem is that teeth and gums are really the doorway to your body and your health. And if your gum tissue isn't healthy, if you've got overgrown bacterial things, you've got infections in your gum tissue or cavities, these things can affect your overall body health. And one of the things that has been really surfacing a lot during the pandemic is people do a lot of clenching and grinding because they're expressing their stress in their teeth. And I've had several patients who have come in who have literally broken teeth in half and had to have them extracted because of the grinding.
Well, I've cracked my teeth. They haven't had to be extracted, but yikes! I am
it's no fun, is it?
And a grinder. No, it's no fun. So I'm glad that you're shedding light on all of this, and we are about out of time. So where can our viewers go to learn more about everything you do and the evade system?
I have a lot of information on my website and some videos, mysmile.com, and you can call 619-MY-SMILE to talk to anybody in my office.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
I appreciate being here. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Coming up next on Main Street Living. Well, I guess we're going to be continuing to talk about using our mouth, and this time you're going to be chewing, and we're going to share a new recipe you can grill right up in the great outdoors. Welcome back to Main Street Living. Spring is in the air, and while it's not picnic warm yet in some areas, it is still a great time to go outside and fire up that grill.
Cheryl, is picnic warm a official weather term? Is that?
I'm making it an official weather term.
So it's not picnic warm yet. But our friend Nick Raybar from Avenue and American Kitchen in Rhode Island has started doing a monthly recipe segment on our Your View sister show, Simply Southern New England, and shared this recipe for miso honey grilled steaks. Take a look.
Hey everybody, it's your old pal Nick Raybar. Welcome to Keep On Cooking, and today we're making miso honey grilled steaks with a ginger chimichurri sauce. Absolutely perfect for this time of year. Let's get going. Today to make this, we're gonna need some New York sirloin steaks. We're gonna need some miso paste, honey, rice vinegar, a little H2O, salt and pepper, ginger, garlic, shallots, cilantro, and chopped parsley. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get cooking. We're gonna start with a little bit of the miso paste, and then some beautiful dark honey, about equal parts, a cap full of rice vinegar, and a little bit of water just to break it up. Now we're gonna give it a whisk. Now when you mix this, you're gonna see it forming into this miso honey paste. It's gonna be absolutely perfect to coat and char those New York sirloins. And you want to make sure that you have just enough to coat it. Any leftover marinade is wasted marinade. And then we just want to make sure that we flip it and we get enough on all sides. And then we're going to go on with a little bit of kosher salt, a little bit of cracked pepper, and they're going to get ready to go for a tan. In about 3, 2, 1. So now we're going to get these right on the grill. High heat for steaks. To cook a steak to temperature, you want to sear that outside while leaving the inside to a nice desired temperature. I'm going for medium rare to medium. Everybody's different. Have fun, cook, and there are no rules. Now these are going to require a little supervision, so don't be afraid to occasionally lift it up, take a look, and occasionally rotate your steaks. Now we'll give them a flip, and you can see how they've charred up perfectly on that one side. Oh, I love that color. All right, I think they've had enough. We're going to get them out of there. We're gonna put them on this sheet tray. Nighty-night, boys. Let them rest. All right, we let these rest for a good 5 minutes or so. And then we're gonna carve right into it. And these steaks are that just that nice medium we were looking for. You can see inside, it's still got a little bounce back. Just perfect. We're gonna slice it all the way through, end to end. And you can see that char. Oh, we're gonna go right over to the plate. Those look beautiful. And wait a minute. Do you hear that? They're calling for ginger chimichurri. Let's give it to them. Chimichurri is a South American sauce that typically doesn't have ginger, but winter is such a great time to use this ingredient, so we're gonna put it front and center. A little fresh chopped ginger, a little minced garlic, a little minced shallot. We have some cilantro, a little bit of chopped parsley, vinegar of your choosing. To complement the ginger, I'm gonna go with some rice vinegar, a little bit of olive oil. Just let it pour. Oil is okay here. All right. Pinch of kosher salt and some fresh cracked pepper. Now, I'm gonna give that a whisk and bring all of those herbaceous, lively, aromatic flavors together. Now we're gonna go right on top of that carved steak. And there you have it. You have the miso honey steaks, thinly sliced, ginger chimichurri. I'm not sure there's anything left to say. That's a wrap from here, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, I'm Nick Raybar, and until we meet again, keep on cooking.
Okay, Cheryl, I know not a big meat eater myself, and I know you don't eat any at all, but I'm sure you could do that with something vegetable related, or I'm sure that Nick has other recipes as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. Definitely. I'd be throwing some veggies on there, but I know there are a lot of steak lovers, my husband for one. So if you guys don't enjoy that, we'll stick to the veggies. And we've got a lot more ahead on Main Street Living. We want you to make your voice heard. Coming up next, we'll tell you about some teens who are making a difference.
Welcome back into Main Street Living. Cheryl, earlier in the show, we met Sir Darius Brown, who's changing the world by making bow ties for shelter pets. And I'm just loving meeting all these young people who are empowered to use their voice and talent to make an impact. It's just so inspiring.
It really is. And one organization in Virginia is committed to developing young leaders who positively impact their neighbors, classmates, schools, and one another. Take a look.
I founded Teens with a Purpose in 1996. Actually, the teens founded Teens with a Purpose. It was a ministry at the Basilica of St. Mary's. And so that was the very beginning. And then in 2007, we formed the nonprofit that exists today called Teens with a Purpose. The whole idea of Teens with a Purpose is teens creatively cultivating the next generation of leaders. So we train young people to lead our summer camps, and they get employed for that. We have a horticultural program. We have a youth advisory council. So that's pretty much our leadership is a consistent piece of what we do in if it's arts or whatever we're doing, that's foundational.
The process is for night. Gardening and art.
Yes, Daquan! Oh, Daquan. He's my love. He's one of my many loves. But Daquan started with us and he was quiet. He didn't engage in anything. He really didn't make eye contact, but he showed up. So we knew he wanted to be here. And now he's just awesome young man.
When I first got here, I didn't really talk much.
And did TWP make it easier?
Yes.
What's the best thing about coming to TWP?
The best thing is the garden.
He grows everything under the sun, and when he grows something, he's like, okay, Mama D, did you know? And he'll give me like all these facts about watermelons, and it's like a flower. It's like watching a flower just bloom in front of your eyes.
My favorite part is to help people eat some food, because some people don't got food in the house.
Does it make you feel good when you can help other people?
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
I wonder if TWP wasn't here, when would he bloom? You know, when would he have a chance to show all of that? Because we're constantly looking for it.
No more shooting, no more street with trash, no more homework. Everybody will have a garden. They will eat and grow their own food, and my heart will feel glad.
You're in a space where everybody is accepted and loved and valued, and everybody is so different. It's a little bit of heaven and a lot of work, but a little bit of heaven every day.
Oh, Danielle, it's so nice to see this happening right in my own backyard here in Virginia, with people inspiring one another to do great things.
Yes, and hopefully they inspire some more teens across the country to do similar things as well. You can find more about Teens with a Purpose on their website, twpthemovement.org. But don't go anywhere. We have more Main Street Living coming up.
Welcome back to Main Street Living. Danielle, we are wrapping up Ladies' Day here on the show.
I know. Should we invite Quincy back next week?
What do you think?
Yeah. I think he can come back.
I think he can.
Back. Yeah.
He deserves, I guess, a week off every now and then, right?
Yeah, especially at the start of Earth Month. I didn't know we had a whole month. I knew we had Earth Day. That's so exciting that we get to celebrate this all month long.
Oh, I know. Earth Day coming up later in April. So everybody focusing on sustainability and recycling and keeping the planet green. So that's near and dear to my heart.
Yes, and I love the April showers because I love the May flowers. So all good things coming.
Definitely. Well, it's been fun today, Danielle. And of course, we'll have Q back with us next week.
Yes, and remember, you can always catch us on the go on the Cox Contour app, so make sure you check that out.
And we have new episodes of Main Street Living weekdays, Monday nights, 9 p.m. local time. So check us out then as we take another stroll down Main Street.